nigga.
He never expected that the skill he just awakened, which he thought could only ripen fruits, actually had a hidden ability. It allowed him to grow stronger by eating fruits. In this world, there exists a type of fruit that grants skills when eaten, but a person can only eat one in their lifetime. If they eat more, they will die instantly. However, Jack was different. His ability was Fruit Master. Even if he ate more, he wouldn't die. This meant he could gain new skills infinitely, but he was completely unaware of this. Thinking he could only become a fruit farmer, he returned to his hometown, opened an orchard, and made a living by selling fruits. Meanwhile, his childhood friend Jenny, who awakened at the same time, awakened the Sword Saint skill, a talent unseen in 1,000 years. In just 3 months, she became one of the continent's top S-rank adventurers. Looking back now, it felt somewhat ironic they had once promised to become adventurers together, but now, Jack didn't even qualify to become an adventurer. At first, Jenny wanted to return and farm with him, but the Saintess stopped her. For the sake of the kingdom, she had to become an adventurer. With those words, the Saintess forcibly took her to the Holy City. Before parting, Jenny told Jack to wait for her at home, but 3 months passed, and Jenny never returned. Jack understood clearly. They now lived in 2 different worlds. However, Jack never gave up on his dream. He practiced sword techniques every day. Without natural talent, he couldn't even leave a scratch on a tree. The harsh reality made him feel powerless. He never would have imagined that the Fruit Master skill was the real cheat. That afternoon, Ella, the orphan he had taken in, ran over to call him back for dinner. Jack suddenly felt emotional. If he hadn't pursued too much, a life like this would actually be quite fulfilling. By chance, he discovered his ability also worked on skill fruits. He estimated they could be sold for a high price, but he didn't tell Ella about this, so Ella thought they were just ordinary fruits and used them directly in her cooking. When Jack found out, he was utterly stunned. The Saintess's warning still echoed in his ears. Was this going to be the death of him? Sure enough, the next moment, Jack's body began to heat up. It felt exactly like his first awakening. Was he about to die? Ella looked worried too, and rushed over to check on him, but not only was Jack completely fine, he also awakened the Sword God skill. At the same time, the Saintess far away seemed to sense something. She wore an expression of disbelief. How could there be a fluctuation stronger than the Saint here? When Jack regained his senses, he was equally confused what was happening to him. Just then, Ella's body also underwent a change. A ring of light appeared around her right eye. She had awakened the appraisal skill. She could now see a target's specific abilities. Immediately, she discovered Jack's Fruit Master skill allowed him to immunity to all fruit toxins. This meant he could eat fruits infinitely, and the Sword God skill he just awakened greatly increased his attack power when using a sword, while also boosting his magic resistance. To verify the truth of all this, Jack couldn't wait to go out and test it. The tree stump he couldn't even scratch during the day was now effortlessly split in 2 with a single strike. Now, he was the only person in the world with 2 skills, so the next day, he brought Ella to the Adventurers Guild early in the morning. This had always been his dream. He told Ella to wait nearby while he went to accept a quest. Unexpectedly, someone came to pick a fight. Lawson recognized Jack as the useless fruit seller from the market. He mocked Jack for embarrassing himself by coming here. Jack simply ignored him, which made Lawson so angry he immediately drew his sword and attacked. To everyone's surprise, Jack easily blocked the strike. The entire guild gasped in shock. Even Jack himself was stunned. It had been just a reflexive reaction. Lawson's companions sensed something was wrong and quickly dragged him away from the guild. Jack didn't dwell on the incident. His only focus was going out to complete the quest. The 2 of them arrived at an open field and found the quest target, a slime. Ella noticed that this slime's defense was much stronger than other monsters. Jack decided to proceed cautiously, but he accidentally used too much force and split the slime straight down the middle. The residual sword energy even carved a trench into the ground. Afterward, they began gathering materials. Ella happily imagined they could enjoy a feast that evening. Suddenly, a scream echoed nearby. It was Lawson, the troublemaker from the guild. He and his group had encountered an ogre. How could such a monster appear near a beginner's village? They were prepared for a total party wipe. Then they spotted Jack. Lawson had an idea and deliberately lured the ogre toward him. Ella realized the ogre had locked onto Jack. There was no other choice. He had to draw his sword and face it. Secretly, Jack felt incredibly excited. Defeating this monster would be the ideal start to his adventuring career, but he also remained cautious. The Sword God skill didn't enhance physical defense. A single hit from the ogre could still kill him, so he had to give it his all. He leaped into the air, jumping high above the ground. How did it? Oitskanna. Hi, Fiddy. Kensi Shake. Oh, get Chivan.